No change, sir. God, Dad, I can't stand her moaning and screaming. It's got my nerves shot to pieces. I thought I was hardened. I've heard them out there in no man's land, dying by inches with no one to help them or get to them. But this is worse. 1,000,000 times. After all, that was war. They were men.
Martha is having an exceptionally hard ordeal.
Since 3 o'clock this morning. Yesterday morning, I should say. It's a wonder she isn't dead.
Where is Kurt?
Still out in the garden, walking around bareheaded like a cold lunatic.
Why didn't you make him come in?
Make him? That's easy to say. He's in a queer state, Dad, I can tell you. There's something torturing him besides her
Yes,
pain.
there's a lot in all of this that we don't know about.
I suppose that's the reason he's so down with the family is because we've rather cut her since the tea affair.
Well, you shouldn't blame us. She acted abominably and has certainly caused enough talk since then. Always about with Bigelow.
And yet, he keeps asking everyone to send for Bigelow, since he wants to talk to him, not us. We can't understand.
I'm afraid Kurt knows we understand too much. But why does he want Bigelow in God's name? In his present state, with the suspicions he must have, there's liable to be a frightful scene.
Don't be afraid of the scene. Hell of it is, he seems to regard Bigelow as his best friend. Damned if I can make it.
I gave orders that they were always to tell Kurt Bigelow was out of town and couldn't be reached. What a frightful situation for all of us. It may sound cruel of me, but I can't help but wishing for all our sakes that this child will never be.
Yes, Dad. I know what you're thinking. It'd be the best thing for it, too, although I hate myself for saying it.
Well?
Couldn't bear it upstairs 1 second longer. Mark and John are coming down too. It's too much for them and they've had personal experience. I hereby become a life member of the Birth Control League. Let's let humanity cease if God can't manage its continuance any better than that.
Second the notion.
Keep your blasphemous nonsense to yourself, Lily.
Nope, I can't stand it. Take me home, Dick. Won't you? We're no good here, just waiting here out of a fit or something if I could stay.
That's how I feel. I'll drive you home. Come along.
I'm never gonna marry or have a child. Never, never.
Hey, Lily! Don't you know that you are shouting? What silly talk.
I'll show you what's silly.
Are you coming or not?
Yes. Wait, here I am.
I thought I went through something with my newborn. This is too awful. It's almost as if her suffering was a punishment, don't you think? Oh, I wish I didn't have evil suspicions, but the way Kurt goes on, I can't help feeling there's something wrong.
How is Kurt?
Walking around the damn garden half the night. Kurt was only the least bit grateful. He isn't. He hates us all and wishes we were out of his home. I would have left long ago. To do my part. Saving the family name from disgrace.
Has he quieted down? That's what I want to know.
Not the least bit. He's out of his head. I'd be out of mine. If a child were being born to my life.
Keep that to yourself. Remember, you have no proof. Think it all you want, but don't talk.
The whole town knows it anyway. I'm sure they must.
There's only been gossip, no real scandal. Let's do our united best to keep it at that. Where's Uncle Edward? We'll have to keep an eye on him, too, or he's quite liable to blurt out the whole business before all comers.
You needn't be afraid. He's forgotten all about the scandalous part. No word has come to him out of the country, and he hasn't set foot in town since that unfortunate tea, remember? At present, he's so busy wishing his child to be a boy, he hasn't thought for another thing.
Well, where's Kurt?
He's inside. I think he'll be with us in a minute. Oh, just now he's phoning Bigelow.
For God's sake, couldn't you stop him?
Not without a scene? Your uncle persuaded him to come into the house, and then he rushed for the phone. Well, I think he guessed that we'd been
Then
lying
he,
to him.
Bigelow, will be here soon.
That depends on his sense of decency. As he seems lacking in that quality, I have no doubt he'll come.
Kurt seems bound to disgrace everyone concerned. I want it thoroughly understood that we wash our hands of this entire disgraceful affair.
Oh, I think it is our duty to stay.
Sit down. Wash our hands indeed. Aren't you as much concerned as any of us? Shh, I think I hear Kurt now.
You liars. Well, he's coming now. Why didn't you want him to come? He's my oldest friend. I've got to talk to someone, and I can't to you. What do you want to do here, anyway? Why don't you go? Oh, God. Why must you go through all this agony? Why? Why?
Let's go and leave him alone. Perhaps he'll sleep.
Kurt, remember, I'm your father. Can't you confide in me? I'll do anything to help.
No, Dad. Just leave me alone.
As you wish.
And send Big in to me as soon as he comes.
Very well, if you insist.
Martha. I got over as soon as I could. Joe, old man, you look like you've been through hell. I have. I am. Buck up. How's Martha? She's in hell, too. Martha is so strong and healthy. There's no doubt of her pulling through in fine shape. She should never have attempted this. I have a grudge against you, Big. It was you bringing your children over here that first planted this idea in her mind. Oh, God. I guess you thought that. That's why you haven't seen me or the kids around so much lately. I'll confess, I felt this infernal gossip. I'll admit that I thought that this is rotten town, I tell you. For God's sake, Big, I didn't want you here to discuss Bridgetown gossip. I know, man. Forgive me. Oh, God, she's been moaning like that hour after hour. I have felt sounds in my ears until the day I die. Nothing can make me forget. Nothing. Hey, Kid Kurt, what's the matter with you? Never thought you'd turn morbid? I've changed, Big. I hardly know myself anymore. Once you're back on the job again, you'll be all right. You're still going on that expedition, aren't you? Yes. I was supposed to join them this week in New York, but I've arranged to catch up with them in China. As soon as it's possible for us to go. Us? You mean you still plan to take... Yes, certainly. Why not? Martha ought to be able to travel in a month or so. Yes, but do you think it'd be safe to take the child? Yes, certainly. Why not? Oh, dear old children. Hurt. I can't help it. I fought against it, but it's there, deep down in me, and I can't drive it out. I can't. What, Kurt? Hatred. Yes, hatred. What's the use of denying it? I must tell someone, and you're the only one who might understand. Shut up. You're not yourself. Now think for a moment. What would Martha feel if she heard you talking this way? Oh, it would kill her. I know. She read it in my eyes. It's horrible. But when I saw her in there suffering, I couldn't keep it out of my eyes. I tried to force it back for her sake, but I couldn't. I was holding her hands and her eyes, searched mine with a longing question in them, and she read
only the hatred there, not my love for her.
This is just your damned imagination.
No, she read it in my eyes. I saw that look in hers of horror. Horror of me.
You're raving, Darren.
She'll never forgive me.
For God's
Never.
sakes.
And how can I forgive myself?
Don't think about it.
For years we had welded our lives together so that we two were sufficient each to each.
It's ridiculous. It's absurd.
It was a fine, free life we'd made, a life of new worlds, discovery of knowledge invaluable to mankind. Isn't such a life worth all the sacrifice it must entail?
That life was your life, Kurt.
No, it was her life too, Big. Her work as well as mine. She had made the life, our life, the work, our work. I had thought I was her home. I tried to make my life worthy of that to her.
Kurt.
Oh, I tried to become reconciled, but I can't. I tried my damnedest. I tried to love this child as I had loved our two that died. But I couldn't. And so this being estranged us. Oh, we loved as intensely as ever, but it pushed us apart. I grew to dread the idea of this intruder. And she saw this in me. I denied it. But she knew. There was something in each of us that the other grew to hate. And still we loved as never before, perhaps when we grew to pity each other's helplessness.
Are you sure you should be telling anyone this?
The thought came to me that if a certain thing was to happen, Martha could still go with me. And I knew if it did happen, then she would want to go, and that she would fling herself into the spirit of her work to forget. And then she would be mine alone again.
Kurt?
The child might be born dead.
Do you know what you're saying? Can't you realize that this is your child? Yours as well as hers.
I've tried and I cannot. There is some inexorable force in me.
Do you realize how contemptible this confession makes you out? Like you have a trace of human kindness. You have a bit of unselfish love for your wife, a particle of pity for what she's suffering for.
I have all the pity in the world for her. And that's why I can't help hating the cause of her suffering.
Have you never thought that you might repay Martha for giving up all her life to you by devoting the rest of yours to her?
God, will this never end?
They say this is the crisis. Bear up, my boy. It will soon be over now.
She has stopped.
Thank God it's over at last.
Our son! Kurt! Our son! Let us all give thanks to God.
Kurt! Your wife is asking for you.
What did I tell you, huh? Oh, go, you fool, go!
Martha! Darling! I'm coming!
Pardon me, please.
Some people have no decency.
No. I quite agree with you.
Scoundrel. Don't get up, Uncle Edward. How ridiculous. What a scene if anyone were to see you like that.
So it's a boy.
Kurt, how he yelled? It's plain as the nose on your face that he didn't want.
Well, you blame him.
Chief Bigelow coming here?
Well, they appeared as friendly as ever when we came in.
Kurt is a blind simpleton. That Bigelow is a shining scoundrel.
Suppose we were overheard.
Kurt leaves. Put her in a proper place. I'll soon let her know that she has fooled me for long.
Uncle Edward, where are you going? I must see him again. The dear.
I think come on, let's go up and see, and everyone will think it funny if we don't.
Yes, we must keep up appearances. Yes, I think we had better all go up, make some sort of inquiry about Martha, you know. It's expected of us, and... Kurt, my boy? What is it, son?
What is the matter?
His wife is dead. She lived just long enough to recognize him.
And the baby?
It's a fine 11 pounds. That's what makes it so difficult.
I am so sorry that I said or thought anything wrong about it. Just forgive me, Mom.
Kurt.
Yeah.
Mom. Gone. Dead. But she looked at me. She saw me in my eyes. She whispered to me. She smiled. She said, "Forgive me, Kurt." When it was I who should have said, "Forgive me" to her. But before I could, she... But she loved me again. I saw it in her eyes. She had forgotten it. Never let me see it. Never let it come near me. I hate it from the bottom of my soul. I will never see it. Never. 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 I'm going back to her.